It's July 27, 2025, getting closer to August, which we get into the real heart of the hurricane season. And one big tropical wave is about to emerge from the coast of Africa. That is the one that could develop some as we go forward, watching that as we get deeper into next week. So lots to cover, some areas of rain. We had some heavy rain in spots over towards, say, Hopkins and Belize yesterday, watching parts of Mexico. I'll cover New Mexico in a second. Another shot of some big rain moving in. Scattered areas of rain are going to become more widespread today in parts of Puerto Rico. That tropical wave that's been moving by has brought us some of that rain in parts of the northeastern Caribbean where we so need it. Elsewhere, parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, we are dealing with some heavy areas of rain. We'll see more of that moving in as we go throughout the day. Here's that pocket. You could see here with some of these brighter clouds, some of the rain embedded in this. It's not going to be a ton. It's not going to fill up all our cisterns, but at least we're starting to see a little break in that very dry, dusty pattern. But with that said, Puerto Rico, U.S. British Virgin Islands, back through Anguilla, Ceiba, Statia, for example, St. Kitts and Nevis. We need to monitor for a few showers and thunderstorms as the day goes on. Now, here's what we're watching on the bigger picture. Here we are in Dominica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Tobago. Watching out here, there are a few tropical waves. A new one about to move in, another one here, but just coming into satellite range, this is the bigger one. This is the one that looks like it will try to develop some as we work our way deeper into the upcoming week. And even if it doesn't develop, it is going to bring us a better chance of some rain. So will that new tropical wave develop? Well, I'm watching all the models and I'm watching the environment. Now, most of the models are not showing any significant development, but occasionally they do. Occasionally they show a tropical storm trying to develop. Right now, the Icon model is the only one really showing this becoming a tropical storm, but sometimes the Icon model does a better job than the other models on picking up on development. But we'll see. Once this gets over the water, then I'll have a better handle if it will develop or not. But at the least, it is going to march across a bigger tropical wave or tropical disturbance and bring us a better chance of rain down the road. And as we go out in time here, you could kind of see this area evolve. This is just kind of swinging out in time by Thursday of the upcoming week. There'll be this spot to watch. This is the European model and some of the variations of it. And then pulling forward into next weekend. So we're looking a week from now, there should be something somewhere near the Eastern Caribbean. Now, sometimes these lines look a little scary. It doesn't show the strength. The European model is not showing this as a hurricane or anything like that. Of course, if something does develop, spin up, become bigger, I got you covered here, but it does show somewhere in the Eastern Caribbean at least a better chance of rain by the end of the week and the upcoming weekend. Now, here's what's going to happen though. As this stronger tropical wave pushes off, here we are in the Caribbean. These are the areas of dust. You see it here. This is by Wednesday, just going out in time. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I want to get into the upcoming weekend. Stop the clock here. This is by Saturday. So 6 days from now, just as that tropical wave tries to approach, there is some dust. It's not super thick. We're starting to get out of the dust season, but there will be some dust and dry air very close to this tropical wave. So it may help prevent development. Having dry air around is good for us around a tropical wave because sometimes that could limit some of the development. Now, here's a look at that European model showing the possibility of a tropical storm developing. And you see the purples and blues. That's a very low chance, about a 20 to 30% chance of a tropical storm developing. So it's not really picking up on anything huge, but again, this goes back and forth. A day or two ago, it was showing more like a 50 to 60% chance of developing, but what's going to happen is as this tropical wave, the big one in Africa right now, approaches us in the Caribbean, I just showed you some of that dry air that it will encounter. So that's what I'll be watching through the week ahead, how much of that dry air will be eating at this tropical wave, and we'll track that together as we go throughout the week and monitor this. Now, the rest of the environment, watching those water temperatures, of course they're warm as we get into late July and get into August, but watching them warming up in particular, a little bit more so over the last week or two. You can pick a spot on the map no matter where you are. Very warm water, so that is what I'm watching too. Again, these systems feed off the warm water, but then I have to see how dry it is above our heads and see the hostile atmosphere above our heads. All right, but let me put that science in the background for a second. Let's go long term here. Couple tropical waves sliding by. I'll zoom down here and here in just a moment, so hang with me. But this is the new tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa. Again, it's over land now, and then it will emerge. Look what happens by Thursday. This is the American model, very similar to the European model, showing something in here, but these spots here, you see this green right here, this light green shading? This is actually some of the dust and dry air. Sometimes the models they don't only pick up on the rain, but they pick up on some of the dry air. Kind of looks funny. So watching some of the dust around this area, and then going out in time here, this would be by Friday. The American model is trying to shoot a little bit more of the rain into the central and southern Caribbean, but you could see how it doesn't show any development because we have that dry air that's around this spot. And then as we go out in time even more so, as we work our way into 6 days from now, this would be August 2nd. There's that area we're watching for some additional rain. So we could see that moving in Saturday, Sunday, working into the Eastern Caribbean. There is a front up here, though, I need to keep an eye on. If this area were to get stronger, say it does become a tropical storm, then it would feel this front, so to speak, a little bit more and lift a little bit more to the north. So if this gets more organized, this area can move more to the northeastern Caribbean. If it doesn't organize a lot, it could look like this. By next Sunday, we could be tracking some really heavy rain with a system that is not named, right? We don't need a named system to get heavy rain. But either way, this is a strong tropical wave we'll be watching. A couple more we'll keep an eye on back behind it. And then some of the models are hinting at a little development off the southeast coast of the United States. That'll be another spot. Never take my eye off the ball this time of year. And the Eastern Pacific should be getting more active as well. Let me hit on that in just a second. Here's the zoom down look. Let's get back to what's going on today. Then I want to zoom up to the north and show you some big rain totals. Lots of moisture in Central America, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras. A lot of us had some of the rain yesterday. Heavier south, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. This is that tropical wave sliding across, giving us better rain in Puerto Rico today, and a higher chance Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic for tomorrow. Not all of us will get it, but a better chance of some scattered storms around as we work our way into our Monday. Let's get into Tuesday. Here's Tuesday, and you can see a few things on the map. Watching out for some additional moisture. We'll watch out for the new tropical waves back toward the east of Trinidad, St. Lucia, and Grenada. And then watching this spot in here, I'll keep an eye on us in Mexico. South, that's where we should see some development in the Eastern Pacific. But I mentioned Jamaica, where we need to get some rain in spots. It's not all of us the next few days, but tomorrow into Tuesday, our rain chance does get a little bit higher. Eastern Cuba as well could get clipped by a couple showers in the Cayman Islands. Kind of a weak tropical wave that will be sliding our way. Now let's swing to the north where it's going to be active. These fronts pushing off, that's what I mentioned for the possibility of some development off the southeast coast of the U.S. We'll keep an eye on that as we get into next week. But one front from the Atlantic region to Canada, down through the mid-Atlantic, and keeping an eye on some of this rain parts of Mexico and New Mexico. I'll zoom down with those rain totals in a moment. But look what happens as we get into tonight with the daytime heating. Coming out of Manitoba, some heavier storms possible as we work our way through Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. That'll move toward Ontario, Quebec by later tomorrow. Some storms possible. Toronto, Montreal, watching that. Back into parts of New England. Spotted some showers and storms north and South Carolina, and still watching over toward the Rocky Mountains in that feed of moisture from Mexico back through New Mexico, watching that. The southeast of the U.S. gets a little bit busier with additional rain and storms by Tuesday. There's that feed of moisture from Mexico up through New Mexico and parts of Colorado. But eventually, some of those models are hinting at a lot of this moisture building between Bermuda, the Bahamas, and the U.S. So we'll see if we do get a little development as we work our way deeper into next week. So yes, several areas to watch, which is normal for this time of year. Let me show you the rain and storms. Not a ton. Bahamas, for example, our rain chance has gone down, but we could see a couple spotty showers and storms. Florida, Georgia, back through Cuba, hit or miss storms that could give a couple inches of rain if you happen to get one. But Jamaica, Eastern Cuba, Haiti, and the DR, while it's not all of us, again, not all of us are going to get rain. It's not a big blob moving in. But where we get some thunderstorms, we could get some spots, 50 to 75 millimeters of rain, 2 to 3 inches of rain over the next couple days. And boy, it has been so very hot. And you see back through Puerto Rico, even the U.S. British Virgin Islands today, an inch or 2 inches of rain will be a possibility. Not a ton in Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Antigua, Barbuda. I mentioned that earlier, Montserrat. But we do have some spotty showers around this morning, and we'll see a few around as we go into the afternoon. Hit or miss as we go over the next couple of days back through Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada. A little bit more in Trinidad where we could have some totals over 25 millimeters of rain. Same thing as we work our way through Guyana. Not as much in Suriname. Interior Venezuela. that possibility of flooding the next few days. Same thing, parts of Colombia, not as much across the ABC Islands, still some heavier rain. Parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, some spots will be over 150 millimeters of rain, over 6 inches of rain the next few days. Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, just kind of spotty in nature. Mexico City and then the west, as we work our way to the west, feeding up toward New Mexico, that's where we have a better chance of rain. In the next couple of days, I mentioned, we'll see a couple storms popping up, especially tomorrow, parts of the Carolinas, where there could be a couple inches of some rain, could lead to a little bit of flooding. But this spot in here, watching this, a little more of a sensitive area for flooding. Northern sections of Mexico, watching that. Then we swing back through Juarez, Albuquerque. In here, there could be a couple inches of rain that lead to some flooding. Extreme southeastern sections of Arizona, the possibility of some flooding over the next couple days with that moisture building in. Now, as far as the seas go, bit of a chop in through here with these tropical waves moving in. Atlantic passageways tomorrow will be building somewhat. This here is Tuesday. See, a little bit choppy, nothing crazy. But over here on the eastern Pacific side, where we should have some development south of Mexico, that's where the seas will be building as we go over the next few days. So you see us in Jamaica today, 30% chance of a shower storm, but tomorrow and Tuesday, we're up to 50% chance. Meanwhile, about a 20 to 30% chance as we swing back through the Cayman Islands. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we have a 30% chance today. Tomorrow, 50% chance. A little bit more in Trinidad, not quite as much in Tobago. And you see a 20 to 30% chance the next few days in Barbados. 40 to 50% chance, could get clipped by a couple showers around today and tomorrow from St. Lucia. Back through Grenada, rain chance drops to 30% on Tuesday, a 50% chance the next couple days. This would just be kind of passing variety. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Martinique, a 40% chance, and an isolated shower possible in Dominica. The rain chance is not super high, 30 to 40% chance in Guadeloupe. Antigua, Barbuda, 30% chance the next couple days. Best chance is actually over the next few hours of getting a couple showers. 30% chance St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, and a 30% chance Anguilla and St. Bart's over the next couple of days. Same thing, St. Martin, Saba, and Station. Now, as we swing back through Puerto Rico, better chance of some scattered storms today. If you get one, it could be strong, so be mindful of some of the lightning, and even about a 50% chance around. Pretty equal chances, say Tortola, St. Thomas, back through St. Croix as we go throughout the day, St. John, kind of equal chances of getting some of those showers. Bahamas, you see the rain chance spotty but very limited, and same thing Turks and Caicos, 20 to 30% chance with a northern end of a tropical wave tomorrow, a 30% chance. 50% chance of scattered storms in the Dominican Republic, 20 to 30% chance as we work our way back through Haiti, and you see the rain chance still on the elevated side. Maybe not as much as yesterday in Belize, but we're going to get into kind of a stormier pattern as a whole. Rain chance, though, will be down to about 40% tomorrow. 20 to 30% chance in Aruba, and holding on to about a 30% chance Curacao and Bonaire. 50% chance the next couple of days in Guyana, and about a 40 to 50% chance in Suriname. Rain chance 30 to 40% chance in Cuba. Again, eastern sections, better chance of getting those thunderstorms. Costa Rica and Panama, we're going to be staying active the next several days. That's the moisture that'll pull off into the Pacific and eventually try to develop. Nicaragua, 60 to 70% chance favoring eastern sections. Honduras, scattered areas of rain building as well by Tuesday. 50 to 60% chance Guatemala and El Salvador. 60 to 70% chance back through Mexico City. And running at about a 40% chance. Some spotty showers, not too high for the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. 50% chance in northern Colombia, and a 60 to 70% chance in northern Venezuela, but especially inland Venezuela. Better chance of rain. And I want to keep an eye on these fronts as the week goes on in Bermuda to see if we do get any development coming off the southeast coast of the U.S. So development is getting a little bit more likely. The tropical waves getting stronger. That one over Africa, that's the one we're going to be watching as we go throughout the upcoming week. But either way, as that moves our way, even if it doesn't develop, that flood threat will be getting higher. By the way, the next name on the list is Dexter. So that is the next named storm. Thank you for being with me on this Sunday. Hope you have a wonderful day ahead.